Hello everybody, welcome to another toy review. My name is George. I go by the name 80s Transformer Fan, and I'm still stuck in the Titans Return universe. Today I have Zort and Highbrow. I guess they lost the name to Gort. I guess, I don't know. Here is his packaging, nothing special to it. On the back you can see the toy in both vehicle mode and robot mode. You can see the head in robot mode as well. It shows you some other figures in the line: Chrome Dome, Alpha Trion, Soundwave. And I am going to get into his packaging right now. Open this guy up together. I don't know why I still do this. I'm not going to keep these boxes, but cutting it open. You know what? I didn't even have to do that. It opens on the side. How about I do this? And just get them out. Well, made a good mess out of that. Slide this guy out. In the back of his blister card packaging, he has a card. In the bottom, he has instructions. I'm going to try to forego the instructions. Going to get his card out here though, so that we may take a quick look at it. It's a nice rigid little card on cardboard, I believe. And there is Highbrow, the headmaster, either combining with him or leaving his body. Titan Return Highbrow on the back of the card. Here is him and Zort's technical readout: strength, speed, intelligence, and firepower. If you want to, you can pause that and read that. A little more light on that. And let's get the man himself, or the men themselves, out of the packaging. When I was a kid and G1 came out, I thought it was an amazing ideal to have the guys' heads come off and become secondary robots. It was like you were getting two toys in one. But I didn't like the fact that it was actually somebody else. I would have preferred the head actually be the same person, the same being. Comes with two guns. One of them I just dropped. Here are his two guns, and they actually have a little bit of painted detail. The gray has some blue paint in there, which is for Hasbro, which is shocking. Normally they would just leave it. And I wonder which part is gray. Is it painted gray or is it painted blue? It makes more sense that it would be blue plastic, because he has to hold that and it might rub off, but knowing them, they did it the reverse way. It looks like it's gray plastic painted blue, which would eventually rub going in and out of his hand. Speaking of him and his, always miss one of these damn zip ties. Alright, there he is, free from his plastic prison. And feels like, looks like he's a lot smaller than his G1 counterpart. And from the guys, from the Deluxe class guys, I did Hot Rod, I did Cup, and I did Perceptor. He seems like he has a lot more paint going on. You can see it. Some 3 different paint apps on his arm just here. He has the Autobot logo. It's done with a silver background behind it, which is cool. He looks pretty sweet out of the box. He has red pinstriping down his side, has heel stabilizers so he doesn't fall over back there. You can see the legs are hollowed out. I'm assuming they fold up. When we get to the transformation, they'll just fold over, and that's probably why it's super hollowed out. Not that you can really see it in robot mode unless you lift this up. He has an Autobot symbol back here. Probably can see in helicopter mode. Has some paint apps in there. Paint apps look pretty good. Little blades are softer plastic, I guess, so you don't break them off. A little bit more flexible, maybe safety reason. But his arms seem pretty stiff already. And take a look at his head. He has the painted eyes, thank goodness. The head rotates at 360s. But that's articulation, but still, just taking a look at this guy, it looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. What do you think? Looks a lot like his G1, a lot like, which what I really love. So on to the articulation. Even though he has the blades back here, you can still Get this guy armed to 360 completely. You can get it up about this far before it hits his head and his shoulder. His arm is in there on a ball joint. You can move it around. He can, got a leaky joint. He has nothing at the bicep, but his elbow swivels. It will 360, comes up and down. It's not double jointed. It won't go back. And his hand can move. You can fold it. Folds up probably because of the transformation, but you can tuck it away. But you have a little bit of wrist articulation there. Coming down to his waist, it does not rotate, which they could have because this is like one solid piece. They could have broke that up. They just chose not to. His hip area, his legs comes out. A lot of these guys can really get into like the splits. He can get to the splits. We got forward and we got back this far. All right, coming to his thigh. It looks like, yep, he has an upper thigh swivel. And it will 360 if you wanted him to. Come into his knee. He has a knee bend, but not a knee swivel. I guess the thigh swivel makes up for that in case you need it. And nothing at the foot. The little stabilizers move. So yeah, that's about it for articulation. He has like this little door here. Right here, like in the G1, it would like pop open and you can get a readout of his strength and everything like that. But I don't think it pops out. I really can't see what it does in robot mode. Maybe it does something else in vehicle mode. And which is next. So first I'm going to pop off his head. Just pops out of there. Nothing special. Bring him forward. And you pretty much unfold this. Wow. The guy has a painted visor. First one. You can see it in there. He has a painted visor, Vort or whatever his name is. Nothing going on other than that paint wise. It would have been awesome if they could have put a little teeny tiny Autobot matrix on this guy. Autobot logo, Autobot matrix. His arm, it feels a little unstable. Guess it's on like a little ball in there, but it can rock a little bit. Comes up just this far as hitting the back of his face. It's as far as up as you're going to get it without really forcing it. Let's see if we can force it real quick. I'll force it. I'll risk it. Yep, you can get his arm up a little bit further, but it's like coming in some. Oh, and I just popped it, but it is on a ball joint, so it is okay. It's okay. His legs are fused together. That's all you can get out of him. The legs. And it's like they didn't have to keep it fused together. They could have came. It's been 30 years. They could have came up with a better technology and gave individual leg articulation. And the face is just hanging out there on his back. It doesn't flip over and cover up like the G1. Well, there is Vort. Okay, now to get this guy transforms, and it looks pretty straightforward. No, I don't do instructions. So bear with me as I jack it. Fold his hands up. I already saw that. And you can see the cockpit clearly hanging out on his back. I know that. I know the blades go on the side. If it's anything like the G1. And there's a gaping hole in his legs. So I'm assuming they fold up for copter mode. Maybe they rotate. And they rotate. And I know some way they have to collapse here. Oh, that's not quite getting it. Oh, there we go. Found it. They collapse. See a peg here. Assuming I see a female peg there. And I'm having trouble squeezing it. I got it lined up. There it is. Click, clack. Let's see if these tab. I see a little peg there. It's well hidden. And I think that's on there. It didn't really pop or snap, but got it on there. This one on there. And I don't know if the arms just hang out here. Seems like a little piece in there from the legs. I don't know. All right, they tab in there. All right. So here is Highbrow in his Cybertronian Helicopter mode. It looks like they've done the blades where, well, I thought they wouldn't collide when you spin them. I guess you can get a little bit of motion out of there. But yeah, they're colliding a little bit. And taking a look at him, the little tail propeller, rotor, or whatever is painted a gunmetal gray in there. It has a little blade in there. It doesn't move. And here's some of the striping we saw in robot mode. Let me see it in vehicle mode. Here is the back. Not too neat, but not too bad either. He has a lot of molded in details in here, different layers of paneling. Come around to his canopy. The front of the jet, he has intake or exhaust vents there, which is pretty cool. And they're painted, which is shocking for Hasbro. And he has a molded in gun here. Nothing over here. More vents over there. He has some painted silver on here, which is like wow, because normally they really cheap out on these guys. The cockpit canopy, I assume it opens, or opens from the back forward. And we can take Vort from Orc, and put them in there. You gotta have a seat, which is really sweet. You can see him in there in the translucent red. See him sitting in there piloting the vehicle. Underneath the vehicle, I wonder if this now, well, now I can open it. I don't want, is it landing gear or something? I don't know. If that's landing gear, that is a total cheap out. But I can't get it to sit up. Here's another little piece here. Wonder what this is. Oh, this is some type of landing gear. So I see these two pieces, but I don't see any more landing gear. I don't know. Am I missing something here? Let me take a look at the box. Nope, it shows me nothing underneath on the box. But he has one front landing gear, and I can't work out where more landing gear would be. Unless this thing, does it sit back some? I don't know. You got me. If you know, let me know. Let's do a little comparison here. Alright, get this guy out here with his, sorry about that, with his G1 counterpart. The G1 counterpart is much bulkier. If I can get them both in at the same time. Zoom out a little bit. But yeah, he has a painted detailing around his cockpit that this one doesn't and probably could use. Probably rubbed off by now, but he has the giant Autobot logos, Autobot symbols right here. Nothing here. They just chose to opt for one. Right there, he has some painted detailing. G1 doesn't. G1 has no gun in the front either. No gun. Underneath, he has a cheap out on the landing gear. He has these two wheels here and this little wheel here. And I still haven't figured out what other wheels. I don't know if this is supposed to stabilize it. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it just maybe this is just it. But yeah, this is what happens when you just review out of the box without studying the figure first. But that's what I do. This is my gimmick. And here are the two of these guys side by side. If they're both fitting in there, I'm going to put the big guy in the back, the little guy in the front. Two completely different grays. I know this one is aged, but it went with a very light, like a ghost gray right here and a darker gray over here. And here are the two of these guys side by side. Alright, moving right along, I'm going to take his guns. You can weaponize his guns in vehicle mode, helicopter mode. I'm going to go like this. Yeah, he has some little ports on both sides of his cockpit. Now I see why they painted them blue, so it looks more uniform, even though they still didn't have to. But I see why they're blue, and if you can see, I don't know if it's scraping or if that's paint off of here onto here, or if it's scraping off of here, but there's a little paint splotching there. And these going here to give him even more firepower in vehicle mode. And I guess you can get a better aim so he can destroy people he's directly over. I don't see anywhere else they might tab or port. Also, something I messed up on my hot rod review. see where these guys, I can clearly see because of the paint that he has his guns tabbed together. On Hot Rod, I kept trying to put them together like this and couldn't get it. But because of the paint, it's color coded. I know that these things pop in right there. I don't know if you can take the little guy. I guess he sits in here. They got, yeah, they make these guys sit on the weapons or whatever. Their head targeted masters and much more. So he can just sit there looking goofy. And now my next question is, does it tab into the vehicle anywhere other than the ports we just saw? Let that guy hang out for a second. I guess you could just, like, this is goofy as hell. Maybe he's not supposed to be this big. If it was in a cartoon incarnation, maybe he's sitting down in there better. But just to have this big dude out here is like, it's goofy as hell. Oh! But here he is in his vehicle mode. Wait. Not done with that. They also tab underneath the wings, which is pretty sweet. I think it's pretty sweet. Oh, here, I think I like this a little bit better. That way, you got this gun, you don't need two guns right next to it, and he's doing more damage. And it looks like it may even port in even closer. Yeah, you can get them even closer. You have a few display options with this guy. Too bad he doesn't stand up very well or have any clearance. Or maybe these are supposed to be, maybe that's supposed to help the landing gear effect. I don't know. You probably know better than me. But there's that. Can't think of anywhere else it might tab in. Alright, now I'm going to get this guy back in robot mode. Alright, got this guy back in robot mode. I did not pop his head back on because I wanted to take a look at this guy. Holding his gun. Can he hold it? Does he hold it? Wow, I don't think he holds it combined in this mode, just like this. I thought maybe he can hold it and I could sit the Titan Master in it, but I don't think this goes in. Oh, I see. This has to be landing gear because there's two little wheels here. Maybe I was supposed to put this underneath and this would be the back landing gear. Ah, okay. Skipping that. But that's the fun of just opening it up and reviewing the toy. I'm going to transform his head back and hit on. It's kind of wobbly on there. It doesn't seem like it's secure. He actually has a forward articulation. He can say, yep, I agree. I completely agree. Along with his swivel, yeah, because it's back on there. I don't know if that's on purpose or it's just a gap in there. Get his guns in his hand. Okay, I love the gunmetal gray they put on here. I'm glad it's just not the same color as the rest of the vehicle. And he looks like the G1 bumper when they would go to commercial and come back. I don't know if his helicopter blades fold up. They're kind of in the way a little bit, I think. I don't see where they would fold up. Damn sure not trying to break them, but to get him up like he's in action. And bringing this G1 counterpart, and this guy has 3 blades in the damn way, but his can rotate back. Get him a little bit more uniform here so I can get him in here side by side. And I think I really like this little update. I love his color scheme. I like the lighter gray as opposed to the original gray over here. I like the guns. I like the size of this guy better, but I really like this toy. I think this is my favorite Titans Return figure that I've reviewed so far. I I like his colors. I like his paint. I like what he brings to the table. The only thing I think is lacking is the little landing gear thing, but I just figured it out at the end. And some of the things they have in common, he has like this little yellow pyramid here with the red lines in there. And over here, they put the yellow pyramid over here with one red line, which I guess they tried to match it up. Nothing really down on his leg. This guy has stickers on his legs. When you turn them around, they both have the entire cockpit canopy hanging off the back with the blades on the back of the arm. And I keep saying in these reviews, but this is why I bought the guy, because he was G1 faithful and I love my G1 figures. But I like this guy, and he, of course, he sports like a ton more of articulation than the G1 figure. But I really like this figure. I like this toy. It's cool. I like what they did here. I really, other than a little landing gear thing, I really can't complain about it. And I've had this thing like 9 months now. Or more than that. I had this thing back in 2016. I think I bought it during the Christmas holidays. Threw it in the buggy with my kids' toys. And I think he's still on the shelves. I see him sometimes. So if you don't have it, I highly recommend it. I don't want to say highly, but I recommend grabbing this figure if you can come across it. He's probably on clearance somewhere. But this has been George, the 80s Transformer fan. Thank you for stopping by for another toy review, and I'll see you soon.